and I wanna give in onto the prediction here. I'm gonna go for MVP on this one.
I have to agree with you there. MVP still has definitely something up their sleeves. They are a new team coming into Wild Rift Esports. So we'll have to see as MVP now banning out the Galio right off the bat. I wonder what Buriram is going to take out. There's a lot of heavy hitting junglers on the board. Maybe the Gragas, maybe the Camille.
They have huge respects onto the Galio of Buriram United Esports. If you look yesterday in day number 1, the single match with Buriram United Esports had a ban onto their Galio as well. And really the respect is high. But Gragas and Camille will be banned away by Buriram United Esports, and Ziggs to follow through for MVP. The Garen will be picked up by MVP, and this is actually quite strong as a Baron laner, looking to match up against a Renekton to neutralize how much Renekton can dish out damage.
This is looking like a familiar draft. This is the beginning of day number 2, basically. Having the Garen, you're right, it helps neutralize, therefore canceling out the threat of the Renekton and the Lee Sin. But look at that, Lovers duo for what the Jess and Kinemon.
I love it, the Syrakan, but what I love more is the Jinx from MVP. We're going back into late game with the Lulu as well. We're going back to Classic. Riku, I don't know, but the excitement is real right now. Jinx and a Lulu was very prominent in the past in patch 1, patch 2, because of how strong the scaling would be, and now it's back into the Rift. I think the potential of this one is how Jinx can get the 2-core item, 3-core item, and then really just mash all in against Buriram United Esports. Although there are a lot of checkmarks that you need to put out, how MVP needs to wait for that scaling potential to come up, and that is a requirement for Jinx to go for the power spike.
Definitely, the biggest question is, will MVP reach that power spike that you just mentioned? This is the debut, the first ever Jinx we're going to be seeing so far in the Summer Super Cup. It's going to be very exciting. It is quite similar to what we saw in Amihan's comp, the Vayne and the Lulu and the Orianna, but this time around, no Wukong. It is going to be Pego on over the Vi this time around. Buriram United forming a very, very strong and aggressive composition. Will Papa survive this aggression?
And you spoke about the aggression. I want to put a quick point onto that one because Shiba is using the Lee Sin. And you have the Rakan for Buriram United Esports as well. So when it comes to level 1, level 2, Buriram United Esports has the advantage coming into it because level 3, Shiba, power spike already. A Rakan, level 1, level 2 already has the strength and capabilities to go for an hyper-aggressive game style. And with that being capitalized, I think Buriram United Esports is looking to punish how MVP looks to go for more of the late game. This is the loophole that we keep on talking about those late game compositions. When if you get punished into the early game, you will have a hard time.
Exactly, and that is the reason why, MVP just trying to opt for this lane swap. Zaya Rakan is not a fun time as a Jinx and a Lulu, and especially if you're going up against a Lee Sin as well. So they're going to opt for this option. And yeah, I can imagine the late game looking very solid. You have double shields from Ozzy and David on the Lulu and Orianna. The wild growth as well in case you get jumped on, because Buriram has a ton of backline access.
Definitely, and you see the barrier coming in again onto the ADC of MVP. This was not the case, or this was not the popular case throughout, because how it works is the heal is being prioritized and the barrier was being onto the front lines instead, while you have some sort of exhaust coming around time and time again because of how barrier is now nerfed to be so long, 120 seconds or something of similar nature that takes a very, very long time. But considering that this is a late game composition, barrier would be good.
Just a little bit of that added defense for sure when someone decides to dive into the back line. That could be Noelle with a flank, maybe. That could be what the Jess. Pego, though, will have to cancel at the port of Noelle. There's a stun kicking in. Slice and dice just to try and escape. And he's fine for now. No summoner spells used.
The tier 1 turret into the bottom lane, though, is getting targeted. And I think this is the first time, but we see a 3-man roam from these two teams in the Wild Rift Summer Super Cup before 5 minutes diving under the turret.
Yeah, it's definitely a race. Arshini, though. Blue team, rather, MVP is able to get the first blood tower. And now what the Jess will be able to join Noelle Buriram, though, is able to respond. So far, Arshini didn't consume any summer spells, so he is fine for now.
So this is expected. MVP Buriram United Esports was similar when it comes to diving under the turret in terms of timings. But when you saw how the nerfs came in onto the turret shields, onto the tier 1, before 4 minutes or before 5 minutes, that shield is going to be huge. That armor resistance is going to be huge. And having it more into the Baron lane compared into the Dragon lane, MVP will take the tower first blood. And that is sort of what the capitalize of utilities here for MVP that they really want to go for, and how Papa is a scaling champion. And with those gold that he came through from the tower first blood, he bought the Executioner Stalling and the Vampiric Scepter to build onto the BRK.
Yeah, that's true. I think, the plate changes where you get, instead of 100 gold, you get 150. Definitely helped Papa sort of accelerate a little bit more, but at the same time, Kinemon responded as well at topside. So it is a little bit more even. Actually, I have 200 more gold than Papa over here on the Jinx.
Definitely, but now Infernal Dragon is going to be the next sort of objective. Jungle, though.
Paygo just charging in as the Assault and Battery used with a double man Shockwave with a triple man knock up over there as the first blood still hasn't been popped. What's it just so low? He's still able to proc a shield, but never mind. Papa gets that first blood. He wants more. He is excited. He has the barrier. He has that double kill and runs straight to the dragon.
That was a difficult situation because Buriram United Esports was not on par against MVP. They were split up in terms of matching it up, except when you have MVP going for the 4-man roam, 5-man roam, going up against Shiba and Rakan in the hills. And that gave them the advantage coming into it and got the first blood with the Mega Death Rocket from Papa as well, connecting onto Shiba, trying to go for the Honey Fruit. He was canceling out the regen of Buriram United Esports.
Exactly, and unfortunately, the Jess was so low, so he couldn't really join the fight and try to initiate once more. Had to run towards Kinemon, and it's so hard to sort of chase out Papa once he gets that reset because of the extra movement speed, and feel like they'll need that lockdown for sure. This could be a potential dive as we can see Shiva. The Jess moving over. First skill will not connect. Here comes Paygo though. Alba is gonna get that wave clear, so the threat of diving is gone.
Ooh, but we have a 2-man roam from MVP going into the tier 1 third into the Baron lane. And this is more gold feeding into Papa. You're looking at a BRK and an Executioner's Calling already secured, and giving him another turret gives him more gold.
Yeah, that is massive. Already approximately 500 to 600 lead for the side of Papa, but just as you mentioned, it is going to accelerate his growth over here on the Jinx. Excited to see as Shiba trying to find these opportunities, trying to find these vulnerable lanes, either on mid and bot.
And look at the average gold of BRU. It's equivalent to 3K. But MVP, Papa, 6K gold already in the first 6 minutes into the game. And that is just so much. That equivalents onto 2 core items already for the ADC of MVP as they go to the Rift Herald.
Oh, there is the quickness activated, but it's greeted by Paygo over there, and the Jess super low once more. Now at the moment, the Rift Herald's getting focused on. That's a shockwave that will not connect into anyone. And that's the Rift Herald slain by Shiba at the moment. So Buriram is able to get a consolation prize, at least despite losing 2 members. MVP will continue on with the siege. Therefore, more gold being fed on towards Papa.
And now, as you stated, BRU got the Rift Herald, but what is the cost? The cost is a mid lane tier 1 turret and 2 kills feeding onto MVP. And on top of all that, Jinx was there all throughout the kills. 3-0-1 at the moment. The gold is exponentially increasing, and that is gonna be something the BRU needs to respect coming into the 10-minute mark, wherein the Baron Nashor will spawn up at that point in time. And that's actually so devastating right now because the early game is not being played out by BRU, and that is where they shine out with the Rakan and Shiba with the Lee Sin. This is gonna be so much weight and health on how MVP is going to play this out when it comes to the 15-minute mark.
Exactly. We're seeing a Rakan who's able to just access that backline. You're seeing Arshini on this Auri who has that Charm and Spirit Rush to get close. And Shiba and Noel as well to most likely set up these flanks in the lanes or certain tower dives. But we never got to see that because MVP has been moving, has been lane swapping here and there. So it was a little bit hard to sort of catch Papa because he's just switching lanes to remove these towers.
And here's another thing. MVP, Paygor, is giving every single jungle camp onto Papa to scale out. He doesn't care about losing gold because his teammate is a power scaling champion. And this is how MVP is playing coordinatedly when it comes to the matchup. And you're looking at the items of Rapid Fire Cannon, BRK, Executioner's Calling, and already an Omnivamp boots to match it up against Buriram United Esports. And that's going to be pretty massive. And look at that. They're now splitting up, going for the push instead to try and secure a little bit more gold for BRU.
Just trying to even out the map space as they are definitely not ready to fight them head on. Noel, though, will get targeted by the Assault and Battery. He's so low. Activates Dominus, but he has no escape. We get to see Ozzy getting that kill. Look at this. The two-man death brush. Kinemon and What the Jess. They're finding the right target. Never mind, they were reporting back because they wanted to escape. But as now, all but is going to be having to eliminate Pago, unfortunately, or Arshini, unfortunately, has to run for the hills, and that's a long chase scene that we're seeing here, but he has nowhere to run. Rift Arrow, though, is able to get a bunch of charge before having to get eliminated, so they're able to push down and sort of weaken the top side.
That was actually pretty massive. If ever it did not go to the inhibitor turret, that's gonna be a lot of wasted gold for BRU. But considering that 700 HP is remaining for the inhibitor turret into the top lane, that is how BRU can try and make a comeback when it comes to the next couple of minutes. And as we see right now, they made it back. Tier 1 turret into the bottom lane already secured as well. So they're slowly creeping back in onto the 6k gold deficit that they are currently experiencing. But still, they need to punish. It's just scaling out into the matchup, and there's a lot of bounty onto the head of Papa as well. If they kill it, a lot of gold coming through your team, and you're going to punish the most valuable player of MVP, as now it's going to be Baron Nashor now alive.
Exactly. At this point of the game, you kill Papa, you kill MVP, you kill their chances of, having to continually get this uphill growth and try to gather more objectives, maybe the third dragon, maybe the Baron. So for Buriram, it is definitely mission kill Papa for this game.
Definitely. Look at that. Like 25%, maybe more of every single gold of MVP is funneled down onto the Jinx. Already secured onto the BF Sword, while Orianna is slowly creeping into the 10k gold lead mark because you have already the Leandris. Seraph's Embrace is already secured. The damage is going to be exponential when it comes to the 5v5, wherein BRU needs to think, what do they want to prioritize? Because you have the Lulu probably targeting the Wild Growth onto the Jinx instead to exponentially increase how Papa can go for the pentakill damage against the enemy team. And look at that, how Papa is just continuously going and grinding up the HP of their enemy team with the zoning capabilities and the lane control into the mid lane. They're now going for the Baron Nashor.
The half HP, that is a Jinx. That is going to go down super fast. Archini going over here, gets the Charm onto Pago, and now Shiba enters the Dragon Pit. But their focus is on Papa for sure. As the Featherstorm now gone, and now oh no! Shiba's able to steal the Baron for Buriram and away for MVP before he goes away. But Papa still is able to get 2 kills off of that. So they know Kinemon is here, but he has that Baron empowered port back, and that is Buriram stealing away the Baron.
And that is so massive, because as we stated a while ago, the inhibitor turret into the top lane of MVP is 700 HP. And having that Baron Nashor, when you push onto the Baron lane, can open up the base. And that is a requirement of Buriram United Esports to get the natural lane pressure into the Baron lane and make it back alive. But how MVP is stating right now, they need to split up to go for the defense instead to let that not happen for Buriram United Esports.
You definitely have to keep an eye on top side. It is going to be Albut's duty to make sure that is not open. He is going to be that gatekeeper up against Buriram. I mean, their format is fine. I mean, Pago, Atzi. and David as well. I think they will lack that one true tank. But Pago is building more onto that tankier vibe for sure. So he will serve well. I mean, the fact that Papa can just be on rocket mode form and be comfortable just kiting here and there.
Yeah, he's not gonna be, putting out rockets. He's gonna be the rocket itself. Because if he comes into the matchup, he's just gonna explode each member of Buriram United Esports. And as we talked about a while ago, they're split pushing to get the inhibitor turret into the Baron lane. Well, MVP got the Ocean Drake, yes, but inhibitor turret secured by BRU, pretty massive, as I say.
That is 2 lanes open already, or rather 1 lane open with just one. Oh, that is the longest all in battery, as Archini is going to be the prime target, and now he is gone. 30 seconds on the clock for him to respond back to base, but this will give MVP a little bit of breathing space to clear the waves.
Massive play style for these two teams. It's actually quite close, as I say it at the very least. But look at the gold accumulation of Papa. I need not say that he is currently leading onto the gold leaderboards. Look at the jungle. Pagor doesn't care about him getting all the jungle camps. He doesn't care because he's building onto the tank. And unlike how you mentioned about a while ago, how Pagor is not really the champion on going in for the damage output as traditionally what we see on a vibe, because Papa is everything that they need alone. Pagor is just there to go for the single targeted CC, Vault Breaker, and Assault and Battery. If he does that, Papa will do the rest of the job and finish that matchup, especially with now Infinity Edge secured by Papa as well. With the Mortal Reminder, this is gonna hurt. Even though if Noel goes for the tanky build, and even if Rakan goes for the Ardent Sensor, and even though he went in for the 1000 HP built up next to his items, there's gonna be pretty massive, and we might expect a lot of things coming from MVP. Especially now that 20 seconds up, it's got to be the Baron Nashor live.
Yeah, you gotta look at his inventory and just feel the pain. You don't have to watch it happen. Exactly. And with that said, you're right. It is Pago just ignoring the jungle, funneling all the gold and the red buff. The red buff and that rocket is just gonna enable more kiting for Papa later on. And now MVP is definitely gonna be using this Baron area to bait out and smoke out BRU out of their own jungle. For now, though, we get to see the duo Kinemon and What the Jest pushing in the middle. Now Baron, 1/4 HP already. There's a knockup, but it is secured by Pago over here on the Baron. Papa still very safe in the backline, just kiting. But Otzi is on a rampage at the moment. And now just only David gone. Shiba, the only one left, as well as What the Jest to defend the base.
Yeah, they're looking at a great state at the moment. If that Baron was stealed by Buriram United Esports once again, this is like sort of the comeback potential, but no, they are not able to do so. And MVP getting the Baron Nashor, having Papa at this state into the game, it's just too much to handle. And even then, you have the level advantage that Albert has. Level 14, Buriram United Esports is level 11, level 12. This level advantage states how much base stats is in advantage of MVP. The Hong Kong region is dominating this matchup at the moment. Only 1 kill secured by Buriram United Esports all throughout the game. 13 already for MVP. And they're getting every single Dragon objective. The rest will be up to how Renekton will be playing this late game. Because if Noel dies early, no more tank will be available for Buriram United Esports to continuously fight onto the 5v5.
Exactly, and they wanted to build Noel for more of that 4-1 setup to try and see whether or not they can open and pressure further this open top side. This is where Buriram will try to bank on their chances of taking this game back, basically. Get an assassination of Papa, then run straight to the Nexus. That is a clear path, but here we go. Arshini over here as well, joining the rest of the fight with Noel. All that so low, but he's able to assassinate. Goodbye, Noel, for you. He's super tanky, but the fight's still not done. Stolen battery used to Shiba, and he's going to be in no man's land. No Guardian Angel. That has been popped earlier by All But, so it's definitely worth MVP getting the numbers advantage across the map for 30 seconds.
Amazing micros for MVP all around. Look at the Garen, how he went for 2v1, even got the kill on the Noel, the tanky of Buriram United Esports, and they take it back Vi was very high mechanical plays. He went for the flash, he went for the totem battery, very easily got another kill onto Shiba, and then they got the Elder Cloud Drag.
Woo! That is painful. That is just painful. Papa now, massive 804. Humongous goal lead for MVP. But now that's 40 seconds for Kinemon to spawn. No AD carry for Buriram. They can head straight to the Nexus. Just hammer it down
Quickness,
in this 18-minute mark. Quickness activated as they stop the push from MVP.
Oh.
But they are so far ahead and they finish the game. MVP takes this win against Buriram.
What a series. We talked about the Jinx as a scaling champion, as a late game champion. And it was not just that. On what we saw, how MVP played that out. He was a strong early game champion as well. This is different meta that MVP is shaping here at day number 2. With the Jinx and the Lulu synergy, they were able to capitalize onto how late game of Papa that they could do when it comes to the damage output. 10 minutes into the game, he already has what? 17k gold? 15k gold? Too much to handle. And looking at the damage statistics, it just states how much damage the Papa provided in this game against Buriram United Esports.
Did you gotta love how Buriram just drafted this aggressive composition? Renekton, Lee Sin, Ari, Rakan. These are all very scary champions to go up against, especially when you're drafting this single man threat like a Jinx. You're putting all your eggs in your basket onto this Jinx pick. But the way that they played around the map, they basically just, okay, we're going to avoid any of the dangerous lanes. We're going to lane swap. Okay, you're lane swapping back. Oh, we're just going to take all of these gold plates while it's safe. And they just kept moving where